You're bleeding,
Okay.
man. You're bleeding.
Okay, it says we're live. Welcome on Hit or Miss. I'm your host, Night Strike. And yeah, I know we're a little late. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I think Budget Guns and Gear may have given the GunTube chamber servers the technical difficulties bug. So I'm totally blaming it on him, even though he's not here. But he gave us the technical difficulties bug, so it took a little while to get everything started and set up. But we did it. We're here. So, hello, everyone. How you doing? I mean, who do we have out there on the YouTube side? Well, right now we've got Mystic Guns, which, Stacy, you have an invite if you want to jump in. You got D-Temp62 out there. And that's about it. That's all we got tonight. And that's kind of sad for Hit or Miss night, but I guess, that's how it is. So we've got who we have on the panel tonight. We've got a couple people. We've got the one, the only, the Travis P11 himself. What's going on, Mr. P11?
Hey, not much, man. I appreciate the invite. Thank you very much. It's always great to be here, dude.
Well, you're always welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Cheap plugs, check out the channel, Travis P11. Lots of cool gun content over there. And then also check out my podcast called Caliber Corner, which we do Monday nights at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock East Coast Time. And the people out here tonight, the people on this panel are on my show. So if you enjoy them, check out my show, subscribe to all of them, and we're rocking, man. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, no problem,
Cool.
no problem. Yep. For anyone, Travis is the other brother, the other older brother I never had.
Ah, thank you.
Roll call is the other one.
There you go.
So I just want to make this clear that I am very appreciative, and Travis is a very good friend. I mean, I don't know how old Kingpin is, but we're going to include Kingpin as well because you know what? We're being nice tonight. We're being good, and
there you
go. And I'm trying to be better, but we'll see what happens. Remember, we're trying to keep everything PG-13, PG. So remember, guys, out there on the chat, when you comment, be nice. Otherwise, one of the mods will probably squelch you. Sorry to say that, but it'll happen. So my other brother from Maryland, Kingpin, what's going on, man?
Not too much, man. Morning to everybody in the chat. Mystic Guns is band happy.
Watch out. She's one mean mod. You don't want to mess around with her. So, but we love her too. So, Duke Liberty, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. Thanks for the invite. Doing well out here in Michigan. We're getting ready for a big snowstorm coming tonight, but that's all right. We had some venison tacos tonight, so we're doing good. So thanks for the invite, man. Real excited.
Yeah, no problem. You're always invited. Who do we got out there? We got some latecomers now jumping in. We got Ohio 45 ACP is out there saying, could it be CoronaTube? It is not CoronaTube. We just had some technical difficulties. Budget made the server sticky. You know how the window or door gets sticky. The server was sticky. I had to fix it. You had to use some what is it, WD-40, I guess. No, not WD-40. I had to use thermal paste. There we go. These computer terms, man, it's hard. We got Jen Z2A out there. How's it going, Jen? We've got who else we got? We got Kingpin pulling double duty. We've got 10 times Shooter out there. By the way, Shooter, I'm going to send you an email after Hit or Miss. I'm just typing it all up and trying to make it sound professional. So, forgive me for that one. Travis T is out there. And Trauma Jock is in at the last minute. All right. So there we go. We got some people to have a conversation. So, Travis, I know you've always got a topic that either grinds your gears or you have something you want to talk about. Tonight, do you have anything you want to talk about? Anything, you think we should talk about?
Well, I think so. This was in a little article that dropped over on guns.com. Were you going to talk about this one? The bill dropping the age to 18 to buy a handgun?
I did not hear that one.
Well, let me go and just put this one on the internal, and you guys can circulate it as you wish.
Post it out there on the YouTube side, just to let everybody read along, because we're good guys like that.
Because when you think about it, when you turn 16, I don't know about what it's like in other states. When I turned 16, I know that's changed a little bit, but you get your driver's license. There's a lot of responsibility being behind the wheel of a vehicle, right? Turn 17, turn 18, you can fight and die for this country, but you can't purchase a handgun, and in some places a firearm, until you're 21. Some stores won't even sell unless you're at least 21 years old.
Some states have because of reactionary feelings. They've upped the age limit in some states. So it seems wrong that you can go out, fight for your country, be a patriot, and die for your country, but you can't own a firearm. And you can't drink either, technically.
It's a fairly short article. So I'm going to go ahead and get it out there and let people think about it while we're talking.
Why don't we discuss it a little bit? Because,
all right.
I believe everyone should have access to firearms that should have access, okay? Granted, I don't want criminals having guns. Right. Nobody wants criminals having guns. I think we can all agree on that.
Yep.
But the thing is, this whole ageist crap needs to stop. So let's go over it.
This is straight up age discrimination if it doesn't pass. So Let's just get that out right now. So it says a measure recently introduced in the U.S. House would lower the minimum age to buy a handgun to 18. The Second Amendment for Every Registrable Voter Act, which is called SAFER, introduced on Capitol Hill by U.S. Representative Thomas Massey, Republican from Kentucky, would establish that adults aged 18 or older would be able to legally purchase a handgun. This right has largely been disallowed by federal law for those under 21 since 1968. Says, today I introduced my bill to reinstate Second Amendment rights for 18, 19, and 20-year-old Americans, said Massey on social media. The measure, which has been filed as H.R. 5716, would reduce from 21 years of age to 18 years of age the minimum age at which a person may obtain a handgun from a federal firearms license. According to the 2016 estimates by the U.S. Census Bureau, there were more than 13 million Americans aged 18, 19, or 20. So then it goes on and says, until 1968, the legal age to purchase handguns was 18, a benchmark that was up by the 191-page omnibus crime bill signed that year by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Why should a 20-year-old single mom, there you go, that's a good point, be denied the right to defend herself and her children? Okay, or younger, right? Said Massey on the issue previously. 18, 19, and 20-year-olds are considered adults and are able to vote on important public policy issues. They can also have kids, drive a vehicle, which is capable of killing lots of people, might I add. I think more people die from car accidents than guns anyway every year. They can also form business contracts, get married, and serve in the military. As adults, these Americans should not be deprived of basic constitutional rights. I'm surprised this hasn't come up sooner. Maybe this bill comes up every year and gets shot down. I don't know. H.R. 5716 has 4 co-sponsors and has been referred to House Committee on the Judiciary. It is not without precedent. 2017, Utah lowered the age to seek a concealed carry permit from 21 to 18. Yeah. Good on Utah there. Handguns are perhaps the most in-demand firearm in the country. According to the latest figures from the Bureau of the ATF, 8.6 million new firearms of all sorts were produced in 2018. Of that total, revolvers and pistols accounted for about 50%. Figured nearly twice the number of rifles and 5 times the number of shotguns produced in the same period.
Wow.
So I support it. I really think so. We've got kids that hunt at a younger age. We have kids that go to the range with their parents at a younger age. There's kids that have handguns that are under 21, if the state allows it, that allows them to, you can possess it, you just can't buy it, right? And I mean, some stores won't even sell handgun ammo to a young person, and if they're under 21, come here. So, I'm just saying, what do you guys think about this, man?
I support it. I don't think we should limit by age just because of what some evil people have done in the past. I mean, you're going to have, you can ban everything under the sun, but evil is always going to find a way to commit evil. Okay? And I don't think being ageist or trying to limit, someone because they're 18 instead of 21, that's not going to solve the problem. That's not going to fix things. You're trying to attack a problem that doesn't exist. And it really ticks me off that people who are of the age to go out and fight for our country, but they can't come home and buy a firearm on their off time. That really grinds my gears. You guys know this. I'm Mr. Shall Not Be Infringed. I don't like it when we've got 18 or 19-year-old, hell, even 20-year-olds that are serving in our military. They come home and they're on leave, and they want to buy a gun or something and keep it at their apartment or at their house or whatnot. They can't do that because, hey, guess what? They're not 21. That doesn't fly with me. So I really hope this bill passes.
So, speaking of passing, what are the actual chances that this is going to happen? What do you guys think? Just looking at our environment, our climate, what it has to go through to actually pass? I mean, if people start calling the representatives, say, hey, I want you guys to support this bill, I think it's a good thing. I've got a 19-year-old daughter that's living on her own, and she's 3 states away. I can't go buy her gun, go buy her a firearm because we're out, we're different states,
Is this a national thing,
money,
or
but still,
is this in your state, or is this a national thing? I don't remember.
This this would be, I think it's federal. I think they're pushing for a nationwide.
It has 0%
Yeah, I think it would be
chance of
pushing
passing.
for
Yeah,
okay.
if it's a national thing, it has absolutely 0% chance of passing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely thought police crap, though. I mean, to say like an 18-year-old can't can't go buy a pistol. Like, I think Night Strike brings up a great point. My first duty station was Okinawa, Japan. We had a 17-year-old Marine with us. He couldn't even buy cigarettes, but he was old. But he was in the Marines. I mean, how preposterous is this? He can fight and die for his country, but he can't buy cigarettes. I mean, so it's the same thing in Michigan. They just changed the law to you can't buy cigarettes until you're 21.
Yes, some states have
Again,
already
I think
enacted that.
I'm sorry.
Some states have started enacting that because of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't smoke and I don't drink, but I don't think that someone else's ability to do that should be infringed because they're not 21, but they're able
I don't
to
either.
join the military, vote, and do other things like that. So yeah, I think it's a horrible thing.
Kingpin?
I'd be more concerned. We got to talk about the age of consent. Each state has its own different age of consent. They're as low as 16 in some states. And if we think that a 16-year-old has the mental and emotional capacity to engage in a sexual relationship with an adult, then I don't understand why there's any age limit on fire. It's all political. None of this actually means anything. It's all political.
Yeah, of course it is.
They're not. I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous. I think the only way to really solve this is have a national level polling, like put it on the ballot and figure out a national age of consent. If it's going to be 18, then everything falls under you got to be 18. If it's going to be 7 years old, then here's a shot of vodka, 7-year-old. Whatever it's going to be, they're going to have to make it blanket across the nation, which, I mean, that's the only way that it's going to make any sense. They want 16-year-olds to vote, but they're not old enough to smoke. Voting's way more dangerous than cigarettes, alcohol, cars, nuclear weapons, all that kind of stuff. Voting is probably the most dangerous thing that you can do. When you think about it, because my one vote affects everybody else's life in this country. in my state, in my town, all that kind of stuff. It's so powerful that you a 16-year-old shouldn't be voting. That's for sure.
It's a good point, man.
All right. Well, we breezed through that one. What else is there to talk about?
So we had a shooting in the town that I worked in today. Can I talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you field this one? It happened in your area.
All right. So in Flint, Michigan today, there was a lady who was going through the drive-through at a local establishment, didn't get her full order, so she decided to pull a gun out and shoot at the employees inside
Jesus.
inside the drive-through. Thankfully, no one was hurt. That's why I'm laughing. But
I get screwed all the time at the drive-through. I don't once
Yeah.
get. I hardly ever turn around. It's like, oh, they forgot my barbecue sauce. Oh,
yeah,
damn. Oh, they gave me somebody else's Big Mac.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
right.
they're
Yeah.
lost. Okay.
She produced a firearm and started shooting inside the facility. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
Whoa.
Shot, I think, one round into the facility and then drove off. And thankfully, like I said, no one was hurt, but she was apprehended later on today. So, yeah, we got a beautiful mugshot. So,
Oh my God. People, you got to calm down. All right. And again, this is like what we talked about last night on Caliber Corner. This drives me nuts. If she bought the gun legally and owned it legally and did that, it does not help the cause for those of us that are legal gun owners when, that 0.01% gets public exposure doing something stupid with their legally acquired firearm, that really makes the defense hard for us to push the, for people that are naysayers about guns and gun rights. It's like, well, this guy bought the gun legal and he went and shot all these people with it. It's, like, well, he could do it with his car. He could do it with a chainsaw. He could do it with a hammer. I mean, he could do it with a knife.
yeah, it really,
what do you want?
bothers
What do you, I mean, there's no, but still it doesn't help the cause when we're trying to prove a point that it's okay for people to go legally purchase guns and have as little minimal interference as possible in the process,
it's like it's like the sheriff the retired sheriff who was in a movie theater. Somebody threw popcorn at him, so he turned around and shot him. They were in an argument. The guy threw the popcorn at him. He pulled his gun out and shot him.
Oh yeah.
What more? I mean, how ridiculous is that? And how
that is pretty ridiculous.
Do we look? Because first of all, you got into an argument. You're a grown man in a movie theater. Another guy throws a bag of popcorn at you, so you pull your gun out and shoot him. Yeah, that's a great case for them to be anti-Second Amendment, anti-gun, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
If they're making noise, you turn around and ask them to quiet down. If they don't, you go get a member management to have them removed.
No,
it's that simple.
DTM62 out there proves a good point. Now, if it was a Krispy Kreme box, I would totally just catch it and eat
it.
Yeah. Or a box of like dots or something.
Yeah,
man, don't waste those.
Baby.
He wouldn't have shot him then.
Some Mike and Ike's or something,
then,
some freaking hot tamales, right? Yeah.
It's like that remember the other one with the backyard incident. Remember where the father and the son are in the backyard arguing with the neighbor? This was in California, maybe.
Yeah, was that the one in the alley?
It's an alley in the sun.
What are they talking about? Was it arguing over a mattress? Is it the one over the mattress?
I thought it was trash. Like trash or something?
Yeah, the guy dumped a mattress right next to the guy's dumpster and walked away. And the dude said, "That's your mattress." He's like, "No, it's not." He's like, "Take it back to your own dumpster." He's like, "No." And the one guy went and got a gun and just opened up on him, man, and shot him.
The son and the father both opened up. The guy had a baseball bat or something. And I'm thinking, like, out of everything, now you've just thrown your whole life away over some trash.
Don't bring a baseball bat to the baseball bat to the gunfight. No, wait, that's not right.
Right, but don't even put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, go walk away, go in your house, deal with it in a professional way or something.
I mean, they were putting it next to the dumpster to have the trash taken out, weren't they?
Well, the thing is, if the company, this happens to me all the time because I've got a dumpster that's on my property that the neighbors across the alley bring their stuff down to. They will bring full-size mattresses and leave them there. I drag them back and put it at their back door. I've actually done that several times. So I'm like, no, because the truck's not going to take it. It's going to sit there on my yard, my grass, and I got to mow around it. I got to weed eat around it, and I've got this freaking mattress sitting here. I take it back. I literally drag it back to the apartment complex where it comes from, and I sit it in their backyard. And their landlord usually picks it back up. I've never had anybody say anything to me about it, and I'm like, you know what? We call the police. That's littering, you know. But yeah, no, I've never once gotten hot headed about it and just freaked out and went and grabbed a shotgun or something. It's not worth it, you know.
That's not what normal people do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's abnormal to fight with other people about something as petty as trash. It's like,
well, look at
it's going out regardless. Who does it really matter whether it's his trash or your trash? As long as it goes to the dump, is it really that big of a problem? I don't see it. You know, if they're getting charged by, you know, whatever ton of trash they throw out, then maybe that's something to, you know, have a discussion about. But I just see it just seems so petty to me. I know, Ghost Shadow. I know. Ghost Shadow says, Night Strike garbage collection will not collect garbage outside the can, and many, if the can is so full the lid will not close, will charge extra. Yes, in some cases that is true. I know that, but again, if you're throwing a mattress out or you're throwing something large that you can't fit in the can, you know, just take it down to your local dump and you know, throw it out. I mean, it takes what, 5 minutes? 15 if you live in a large city? Come on.
Most jurisdictions have one day a year where you can throw out all that major big stuff like mattresses and lawnmowers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's stuff you can't throw away on your regular residential trash.
I live in a small town, okay? Live in a small town. It's not as big. And I live outside of Charleston in a small town. And they've got a dump here in town. And right in the middle of town, I go, and anything that won't fit in my trash can, I take it down there, and they've got these huge trash bins where I can just throw my trash into, and they take it away, and they put it God knows where. But again, you know, it's taken care of right then and there. If someone is too lazy to go and do, you know, go and make the attempt to do even that, then they shouldn't have the trash in the first place.
Yeah, but you're talking with reason. And if you
I know.
ever worked
I'm
in,
talking with reason and logic.
Or anything, there are some dirty people.
There are.
It's crazy.
There are. Oh boy, do we want to talk about that one, Travis?
Well, I'm just putting a bunch of topics up there, bro. I'm down for anything. Here's another good one: the 11-year-old girl that took the AR-15 to the gun legislation hearing in Idaho. I think she set a perfect example for our nation that our youth can, in fact,
basically all their heads exploded because, you know, it was a kid with a gun.
Should we look at the little Webley Scott thing?
Why don't we cover the girl first, because that's a more interesting point, because she went and protested to her local government.
David was saying something here. What were you saying, David? What happened? Yeah.
I was just saying the assault weapons ban didn't make it through Maryland either.
Hey!
Not this time, anyway.
So how did it not, if you've got such a restricted state with so many laws? I mean, who shot it down, or what happened? Did it get overturned by, was it just the votes? Was there a few Dems that turned on it, or what?
Well, to sum it up the best, there's a wise man who may or may not strike at night that said the other day, there's an election season coming up. That's it. That's all. People are protecting their seats.
Okay.
There is an election coming up.
But I also think that is the, what is it, the rice that tips the scale. That's the one thing that's going to be a huge game changer, I think. I mean, an assault weapons ban, that's the one that people aren't ready to chew on. They think I think it's just the big one
Yeah.
waiting in the shadows.
Okay, so it's great to hear that at least that one's gone for, I guess, this year, right? Did they floor it, or did they postpone it till next year? David?
I don't remember. I haven't looked into the exact details. I just had a friend of mine that lives here in Maryland that texted me and said there was good news. So I didn't open the link that he sent me yet to read the whole thing.
All right. Well, I want to go over this the kid, because it's an interesting topic. Yes, there's more to the story. Granted, no 11-year-old is going to be running around with an AR-15 without adult supervision. Especially going to testify against their state legislators. Okay, but 11-year-old girl brings her AR-15 to Idaho State House for a hearing. Okay. What's this? Bailey Nielsen, 11, accompanied by her grandfather. So probably her grandfather was with her. He was probably armed as well. He probably, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's instigating this or if he supported her on this. It's a little, we haven't gotten into detail yet.
No, listen, just read what he said, what his testimony was. If you read what he said, it's legit, man. I mean, he makes a valid point.
Her grandfather testified before an Idaho House panel today, and her completely lawful visit garnered national news coverage because the mainstream media loves sensationalism. They got an excerpt from the Associated Press here. An 11-year-old girl toting a loaded AR-15 assault weapon. Well, you can see where they stand on the political spectrum.
She's got a selectable fire machine gun on her? Really?
When did that happen?
Yeah. Wow. The kid's rocking some bank to afford that NFA item.
Hell of a grandfather, I'll tell you that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Appeared Monday
man.
at a legislative hearing with her grandfather, who is supporting a proposal that would allow visitors to Idaho who can legally possess firearms to carry a concealed handgun within city limits. I don't know which city this is. But again, Charles Nielsen addressed the committee that voted to send the legislation to the full House as Bailey Nielsen stood at his side with the weapon slung over her right shoulder. And I want to make it clear that the weapon in question, okay, I'm going to screen share this so we know, because she wasn't holding it threateningly. It's on a single point sling. So let's go and screen share this real quick so everybody can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Because I feel that we have to be transparent about this, because we know the media will not.
Yeah, the title automatically brings up. We'll raise some eyebrows. You're like, see, she was carrying.
As you can see right here, she had it on a single point sling, and it was it's an acceptable position. She's not touching it. She's not handing it. She doesn't have her finger on the trigger. She doesn't have her hands on the gun. Mm-hmm. It's just hanging off her.
How old is she?
She's 11 years old.
11. She got her first deer when she was 9. She's been shooting since she was 5. She actually got her first deer with an AR.
That's non-threatening. And if people find that threatening, then I have to question their sanity, because you're afraid of a inanimate object. So I'm going to ask: are you afraid of cars? Are you afraid of butcher knives? Are you afraid of a spork? Because they're all inanimate objects. Unless a person behind them uses them in a legal method or an illegal method, it's just a tool. Okay? Anyways, so I just had to make this distinction, because that doesn't look threatening, and if anybody's getting their knickers in a bunch because of it, they shouldn't, because I don't see anything wrong with that.
I'm not the biggest fan of using children as props.
I'm not either, but let's go on with the article, and we're going to dig a little deeper on it, all right? I just wanted to get that out there.
And just before people get upset with that, I understand that this specific girl may be a specific firearms enthusiast, but I'm talking about in general. I don't like using children as props.
Well, and we don't like it when the left does it either, you know.
Okay. So
I see where you're coming
Charles
from.
Nielsen addressed the committee that voted to send the legislation to the full House as Bailey Nielsen stood at his side with the weapon slung over her right shoulder, but did not say anything. Bailey is carrying a loaded AR-15. Charles Nielsen told lawmakers, people live in fear, terrified of that which they do not understand. She's been shooting since she was 5 years old. She got her first deer with this gun when she was 9. She carries it responsibly. She knows how to not put her finger on the trigger. We live in fear of a society that is fed fear on a daily basis. He said Bailey was an example of someone who could responsibly handle a firearm, and lawmakers should extend that to non-residents. When they come to Idaho, they should be able to carry concealed because they carry responsibly. They're law-abiding citizens. It's the criminals we have to worry about. Okay? It didn't take long for the Associated Press story to find snowflakes melting with their bigotry. The Boston Globe reprinted the photo and the Associated Press wire story, and it met with a cornucopia of comments welcoming rich and diverse points of view. Just kidding. The Globe's readers hated this little girl. Like Johnny Cash, the very first to comment at the Boston Globe, Johnny Cash, 2/24/2020 at 1:12 p.m., not a state I want to visit where 11-year-olds can walk around with machine guns. Well, newsflash, Mr. Cash, we haven't been able to have full auto machine guns since 1986. And I'm sorry, but I don't think it's a full auto. It's not an NFA item, and I don't think that grandfather is nice enough to spend the $40,000 to $50,000 to give her an AR-15, to give her an M16. I'm sorry, but
Johnny
you're
Cash
being
wouldn't come
unrealistic.
off like that.
And Johnny Cash,
And didn't Johnny Cash shoot a man in Reno just to watch
Johnny
him die?
Cash
never
was a
don't
supporter
put those words in
of
real Johnny
firearms.
Cash's
He was
mouth.
a real American. You're just a piece of trash. All right. Who was it that said it's better to be thought a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt? Then comment number 2 at the Boston Globe from Slack at 2:01 p.m. I agree, but technically it's not fully automatic, so it's not a machine gun. But yeah, the gun porn loving ammosexuals are just salivating over the photo and a story. It's a weapon of war and can slaughter scores of people in seconds, which is what it was designed to do, because the Army long ago came to the conclusion that most soldiers are lousy shots. Ooh, don't tell Squib that.
Was the AR-15 ever actually used
So
in
a
real
lightweight,
combat?
small caliber, low recoil, high muzzle velocity weapon that can put a lot of lead on a target in seconds was their solution. Also, the wounds that these weapons of war cause because of the tumbling action of high muzzle velocity, small caliber projectiles that turn human flesh and bone into splinter-filled hamburger are much worse than bullets from other types of weapons, deadly enough in their own right. Just ask any big hospital trauma surgeon the difference. Well, I'm gonna stop you right there, Hondo. You're wrong about that one, because every weapon of war uses a full metal jacket round because of this one little thing called the Hague Convention. Okay, they all use full metal jacket rounds. It doesn't matter what size the caliber is. The fact is, they're all designed to do that, because the full metal jacket round is designed to take a combatant out of the associated fight. So the enemy has to put another person on the field to replace him. That's what the round was designed to do. It's not specifically because of the 223, the 5.56, because it's an AR-15, an M16, or hell, because it's a bolt action rifle or even a muzzleloader. That's not the point. Besides,
I think they're missing in this whole story is the positive side. This girl is 11 years old and is already a marksman. So by the time she's 18 and joins the military, she'll be able to humanely kill terrorists with like excellent point aim shots because military people are such terrible shots. So she's going to be an excellent shot by the time she gets. So I think they should just let her have more guns.
Yeah. And AC-97, I know 5.56 wasn't designed to do that. That's the Full Metal Jacket round is what was designed to do that. That's why it was used and designated as the round for militaries to use if they go at war with each other in the Hague Convention. That's why they banned shotguns in the Hague Convention, but the United States used them anyways because they were using mustard gas and flamethrowers on people. So we figured the Hague Convention was more or less a set of guidelines rather than rules. Not that the United States signed it, but we still use Full Metal Jacket rounds, but we still brought our shotguns to war. We always do. But again, we're getting off track here. There's a couple more comments. I don't even want to read them. It's just more rhetoric by ignorant liberal fools, and I really don't want to play their negative game. Okay. But let's read some of the comments out there. At Night Strike, 5.56.223 is nothing but a 22 with a longer brass case. This is true, but there's more powder in it too than a normal 22 LR. So you also have to take that into consideration as well. Okay, not arguing that. So, Ghost Shadow says at Night Strike, USMC uses 40 millimeter shotgun shells. Hey, I'm not complaining. Are you complaining, Ghost Shadow? I'm not. Hey, use what you got. DTAMP 62, isn't ignorant liberal fool being repetitive? It may be, but remember, they utter this nonsense repetitively to everyone else to try and brainwash people into believing that it's true. So if we use that same logic against them, everybody will believe they're fools. So we'll have accomplished something, I guess. At least much more than they have.
Well, speaking of incompetence and liberals saying dumb things, Joe Biden just said that 150 million people have been killed by guns since 2007. So,
okay, there we go. Well, hold up.
It's like half of our population, isn't it?
yeah, he just said it.
I think he meant to say cancer.
Maybe he meant in Chicago. Because
no,
if those are Chicago numbers, he might have something there.
I think it's great, that we can make fun of the left because they give us so much good material. But don't you really think Joe Biden should talk to Joe tonight and say, honey, let's just go enjoy our remaining years in luxury and get away from politics?
No,
Right.
no, I want them to
No,
fight.
you do, but you're not married to the guy. I'm talking about, don't you think somebody in his family should get that old man away from the camera? He said he was running for Senate the other day. What else did he say? He said he signed some treaty with a Chinese dictator that has been dead for 30 years.
Mao Zedong?
No, the dude before him.
Sad. To be honest, I think he's in his onset of Alzheimer's, and it's kind of prevalent, and it's kind of sad, to be honest. I mean, when he talks like that, that's exactly what it reminds me of. I've had family members that have had that, and that's what it reminds me of. So I know it's fun to joke about, and I'm real happy that he says dumb stuff on guns to help us out sometimes. But man, it is a sad thing in all honesty.
Right.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's cool. It's fun to sit here and bust his chops about it because it's hilarious stuff. But if I was his wife, I'd sit him down and be like, "Honey, this is. Let's just go enjoy being married and have a good life and watch hunters, hookers, grandbabies, kids grow up."
Okay, Sam of Anarchy 92 says at Night Strike, terrorists with AK-47s kill more people than anyone with an AR, but the Hague haven't found all those people. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that word because we're trying to be PG-13 here. So guys, if you're gonna say that kind of stuff, kind of do what Sam of Anarchy 92 did. Thank you, buddy. Warsaw Patriot says, at Night Strike, I'd like to see liberals join a military branch. They go to the range to train and to shoot a gun, and while they complain when they don't want to shoot one. Yeah, they probably will, even though it's their job to. But hey, you don't join the military to not fight. Sorry, but that's unrealistic. You join the military to fight for your country.
That's what the Air Force is for, right?
No. We don't talk about the Air Force like that. No. We're being nice tonight. I mean, even if you were in an opposing branch against them during the football season, we won't talk about that. Okay? All right. We got one more out there. They are too gun shy and too scared to even hold a gun at Night Strike. Yes, they are. I'm not arguing that. So, Roll Call is wanting us to go and check out Elizabeth Warren's new tweet. No, absolutely not. I can only take so much of Pocahontas or The Last of the Mohicans. I can only take so much of that lady. I don't want to read what she said. It's probably awful. I'm probably gonna lose brain cells. Let's just not go there tonight, please.
It's probably just another mushy love letter to Rocall. Rocall, I love you. I miss you so much on the campaign trail.
Right. She just wants to settle down with Rocall and that little TP of theirs. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
And remember, guys, if you don't at Night Strike, I don't see your comments. So remember at Night Strike, or hell, even Super Chat if you have a comment or you have a question you want us to read. All right. So there we go. Catnip Outlaw says, roll call, which one of her recent ridiculous tweets? There are a lot of them. It's a good question. Warsaw Picture says, at Night Strike, did you hear Bernie Sanders is getting a lot of hate and heat for supporting Fidel Castro's socialism plan? Well, guess what? Newsflash for everyone in America. Bernie Sanders is socialist. He may be running on the Democratic ticket, but that's only so he can get elected. But he is pure 100% socialist, just like a certain Cortez in New York.
Hey, you gotta give Fidel Castro a break. He did start that literacy program. I mean, come on. He taught a bunch of Cubans how to read and write.
You guys remember?
Yeah, you gotta like their policy. Read this propaganda. We'll put two in the back of your head. Yeah.
Detail. Come on, that's inconsequential detail.
Right. Hold on, guys. We got some more comments out here. So, Bernie Sanders is nothing more but a Vladimir Lenin at Night Strike. Warsaw Patriot says, I'd say he's more of a Karl Marx than he is a Vladimir Lenin, because he's not trying to. He's trying to get people to vote for him, but he's not trying to getting them to rise up against the government. That's not yet. Once he does that, then yes, he is Vladimir Lenin. But Ghost Shadow says, at Night Strike, when I went through boot camp, had guys complain that the M16 kicked too much. Instructors made them fire the M1 Garand and the M79 grenade launcher. Yeah. I would say the M79 it probably kicks a bit more than either of those, but I might be wrong. I shot at Garand once, but I've not shot at M79, so I'm not sure if it has more kick than an M1 or not, because I don't have anything to compare the M1 to. Anyways, but the M1 is 30-06. It's a bit more kick than 308. So, anyways. All right. The Warsaw Patriots going on to say, that works too. but it's about how he constantly points. That's the Lenin. No, all socialists point. They always point. Okay, it's not just one. Yeah,
An authority thing, man.
Says at Night Strike, heard AOC is gonna get redistricted out of her seat. Well, maybe she should have paid her dues. Yep. All right. Duke is Ian is jumping out on us. So Ian, why don't you go and say your final thoughts, final plugs?
Yeah, appreciate the invite again. Thanks for the panel. A lot of fun with this discussion tonight. Check out Duke Liberty channel. This weekend we'll be dropping a video on gun show etiquette. So appreciate the time. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. We got 2 more comments out there, and then we're gonna go through the room and get on out of here to jump on over to Sandy's. So Go Shadow says at Night Strike the M79 kicks way more than a 375 H&H. Ooh, nice. So then I'm right. The M79 kicks more than an M1, right? All right. Good. Walter Davis says he's a Karl Marx because he never had a real job at Night Strike. That's true. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying Bernie is more of a Karl Marx than he is a Vladimir Lenin, because Vladimir Lenin was more communist. Karl Marx, while he made the manifesto, I don't really think he was really that much communist, more than he just wrote it down just to make some money. But again, my opinion, I never met the man. I just read the book. I read books, guys, because, hey, you're not going to learn anything if you don't read a book. If you don't study history, you're going to be doomed to repeat it. So always study.
Exactly, man. This is true.
All right. So with that, let's say, C4 Defense is showing up at the last minute saying, hello, gentlemen, and Night Strike.
Is your Gary popping as well?
Oh, what? Why would she say something like that to you, Night Strike? Why would she ever go there?
Say something like that. I don't know. I don't know what Karen's deal is tonight. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I believe it, Go Shadow. I believe it. So everyone go check out Sandhill Shooters Get Off My Lawn podcast. So go on over there. We're done here. So check out guntube.org. Travis P11, give your plug.
Yeah, man. Check out the channel, Travis P11. Lots of great gun content. Got a new video going up tomorrow. And check me out over on Patreon. Patreon.com/Travis P11 if you want to get my content early. All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Kingpin.
Cool. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. So with that, guys, we're heading out. You guys take it easy. Go on over to the Get Off My Lawn podcast, because we're all jumping ship to go over there. So thanks for listening. Thanks for participating. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we hope to see you next week. So thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss.
Shut up, be infringed.
Shut up, be infringed. Give them the turkey bird. Or give them the bird. Or that's a calf rope. I ain't got no tack line. And yeah, that's it.